We're going to do some Patriots BYE Week Superlatives here with Bert Breer and Phil Perry. Start off with the most miserable Patriot right now. Who is the most miserable Patriot at the moment? Is it Mac, is it Bill, or is it the owner, Robert Kraft? Phil, you want to go first?
Yeah, this is a good question. I think it's probably the quarterback just because there's so much uncertainty, right? There's uncertainty with Bill for sure. Where is he going to be next year? But somebody's going to want him somewhere. Robert Kraft, still his team. He has the chance to remold it in whatever image he would like with a head coach and a personnel director and all that, if they end up moving on for Bill Belichick. With Mac Jones, you're not sure how badly you're wanted elsewhere. And that, I think, would be the most sort of shaken individual when we're talking about these three.
Yeah, I would agree with Phil, although I'm tempted to say Robert just because he did not look happy at the end of that game, and we got, I think, the picture that's going to become a meme here over the next couple months, which was a sad look.
Yeah.
I think Mac is the one who this costs the most. You know, like Bill's legacy is legitimately secured. Robert's legacy is legitimately secured. Mac Jones is just getting started in his career. And history shows us, like, if you don't have off the charts physical traits as a quarterback and you wash out somewhere, it's really hard to get a second chance. We've seen the way Baker Mayfield has had to bounce around and try to find a second shot, right? And Baker Mayfield had more success in Cleveland than Mac has had here. Look at Geno Smith. Like, Geno Smith, it took him, 5, 6, 7 years to get another legitimate shot at being a starting quarterback. So as far as the toll this is going to take on somebody's legacy, their career, it's Mac without a doubt.
So to me, though, the most miserable, who feels the most miserable of this group, it's Bill Belichick right now. And no one's really felt the wrath of that more than the people asking the questions down in Foxborough, Phil. He's up there at the podium, you know, he's got to do the same amount of availability, and you can just feel just how miserable it is. You can feel it from a distance. I would imagine in the room you can feel the misery times 1,000 in there. But he's not used to this. He's not used to being 2-8, not used to having zero sort of I don't know what the zero responses for how to turn this thing around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's nothing there.
It's a good point by you because Mac Jones, he comes into the league. What does he know? He doesn't know anything about the NFL, right?
Yeah.
He's sort of starting fresh, and so it's a hard time. He's obviously having a hard time now, and there's clearly uncertainty with his future moving forward. Bill Belichick knew what worked for a long time and was used to sitting at that podium and having all the answers and winning 10, 12, 13 games a year. And now it's such a drastic shift from what he's known for so long since Mac Jones was in diapers.
Yeah.
That may bolster your point of his.
I think it's fair, like, you do question some things now, right? Like, you question some big picture stuff, and you start to add the 5 years in Cleveland together with the 4 years since Brady, the 1 year with Castle, which they went 11 games, but they missed the playoffs. It's easy to do that.
Well, we're going to continue to talk about this because we got more superlatives. Let's actually talk about who's most to blame for this.
These are fun so far, Giles. What you get next?
We got who's more to blame for 2-8? Mac, Belichick, or how about, and we got a picture of Trent Brown there, which kind of isn't fair, but the offensive line. We couldn't fit the whole offensive line on one graphic, so we just put Trent Brown on there. So who's most to blame, though, for the 2-8 start?
You have to look at Bill Belichick as the team builder, right? The guy who chose the quarterback, Bert, the guy who built the offensive line ostensibly as the general manager. Those two things have played off each other to give you the product that you've seen offensively. But, yeah, you look at Bill Belichick.
I don't want to be boring here, but I got to agree with Phil. It's obvious. It's who put the team together. They were left in an incredibly difficult situation at 3 premium positions on offense, right? Quarterback, tackle, receiver. Tackle because you didn't acquire the right players, receiver because you didn't acquire the right players, and quarterback basically because you don't have anything behind Mac Jones. So when he fails, there's no other answer on the roster. So I think it's definitely Bill.
Yeah, and I guess you could say, well, they could be, 4-6 if Mac just makes a couple throws there to win a couple games. That would be why they're not 4-6 instead of 2-8. Yesterday, Boston Herald's Andrew Callahan reporting that the vast majority of Patriots players they're done with Mac Jones. We've also heard this from Phil. We've heard this from Mike Giardi. One source calling it 80% out on Mac, according to Callahan. Today, one of Mac's teammates coming to his defense.
Of course, I'm a believer in Mac, but I don't know who said that, but he hasn't lost us. Yeah, that's wild. But no, he hasn't lost any of us on the team. So it'll be a good week for him to just get away from football. And when he gets back, I hope that he knows that all 52 other guys are ready to get after it with him.
Okay, so there's a little positivity there for Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. How do we feel?
What are you going to say?
Yeah. Really, you think it's just Jelani Tavai is trying to say the right things?
I don't know. Like, I think, and look, like a part of this, going back a few weeks is like what they're seeing in practice. And I think how you lose the team is these guys don't care about anybody's 3-year plan. 80% of the guys in the NFL don't know where they're going to be next year. These guys care about what you're going to do for them in the here and the now. And as far as players go, the ultimate facilitator out there on the field has to be the quarterback. If the quarterback's not getting it done, he can affect your livelihood, your ability to make money. And I think when these guys see mistakes made in practice and they're calling it out in practice and then see those mistakes repeated in the game, and then see the same mistakes game over game over game. And this guy's being sold as a smart, efficient, game-managing quarterback, and he's none of those things based on what they see. That's how you wind up losing some guys. So I don't think it's that they don't like him. I don't think that's it. I think it's that he's not doing the job at a high enough level to help them do their jobs at a high level.
All right, well, some guys have been doing their job at a higher level, and that's why we're going to sprinkle in a nice little positive award here, okay?
Oh, nice.
Just going to sneak it right in. Yeah. Who's been the Patriots' best player this season? Got a couple options, including Christian Barmore, Pop Douglas, Kyle Duggar. You can only go with one. Phil, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm tempted to go with Pop Douglas, but I'm going to go with Christian Barmore. I just feel like he has been dominant at times over the better part of the last 2 months, and I don't think it was the fastest start for him necessarily. He's dealing with a lingering knee issue that I think slows him at times, but we haven't really seen those slower moments, Bert, in the last, again, I don't know, we're talking now 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks where he's been one of the best defenders on the field for a pretty good defense. And he's doing it both in the pass game and the run game, Bert, which is relatively new for him. He was essentially a designated pass rusher for the first couple of years of his career here in New England. Now he's been healthy enough to play consistently. He's playing on early downs, and he's playing really, really well.
Me and Phil are going to make some bad television here tonight.
You guys just in lockstep on this?
Hey, it's great minds. That's
let me ask you that.
One right answer.
I will say this. I dabbled a little earlier in the coach's film, and I think if you watch it from that perspective, particularly in that Raider game, it seemed like he was the only one getting in the backfield. He was disruptive on almost every snap. And so it's a guy who is becoming what you thought he would be when you drafted him in the second round 18 months ago.
So I think we didn't mention his name. Well, we did when he was talking about Mac Jones, but Jelani Tavai, I think he's actually, especially recently.
He's in the running.
He's in the running. He's been making plays,
and
especially for a guy that you probably didn't have the highest expectations for.
Jabril Peppers, too. Can I give him an honorable mention?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll give him
Love that one as well.
Mention. I'm sure he's appreciative of that.
All right, enough with the positive stuff. Let's get back to it. Patriots' worst moment of 2023. We have the embarrassing losses to the Cowboys and the Saints, losing to Brian Hoyer, and then there's the 2 interceptions at the end of the Colts game, and Bill Belichick voting for rookie Kayshon Boutte for not getting both feet in bounds week 1 against the Eagles. Apparently not over that yet still, but worst moment to you, Phil?
I think I'm going to go with the across-the-field interception in Dallas and the blowout in Dallas, because you're coming off a blowout against the Saints, and you're wondering, is that just a 1 week? There it is. Ugh. I mean, about as bad a decision as you can make. It's not understanding your own physical player. A lot of pick sixes, I guess, for that guy this year. But that's not understanding who you are as a quarterback in your 3rd year, and it's pressing too much to the point where you're making a massive, glaring mistake. And coming off that Saints game, Bert, to me, that play almost rubber-stamped, okay, this is just going to be a bad team this year. So that's why I have it at the top of the list.
I would say the interception on Sunday against the Colts, because it just, to me, Mac's interception specifically, not Bailey Zappi's, because to me it just sort of illustrated how far gone he is right now and how broken he is. And a couple of people have pointed out to me how bad his mechanics were in that game, people there. And that's part of the frustration with him right now, is that these things aren't getting fixed. And a couple plays that were pointed out to me, his first throw of this first half, his last throw of the first half. And the last throw of the first half, remember, he was complaining about the play call there. His feet were just a disaster on both of those throws.
Screen to Pop Douglas?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His feet were a disaster on these plays where he looks like a broken quarterback. I think it's sort of everything coming to a head, which is why it's the lowest moment for me. It's the ducking against Buffalo where there wasn't a rusher there. It's all these different things that we're seeing where it doesn't look like any of it is there for him right now. to me, it all came together on that interception at the end of the Colts game where he missed Gesicki by legitimately, it felt like 10 or 15 yards.
Yeah, I still go back to the Saints game. That was nauseating when you're getting shut out at home coming off the Dallas game. That was hard.
Not a great team either. Like a pretty good team, but not a great team.
Yeah, the Saints they're not good.
Yeah.
Patriots were favored in that game. They got shut out at home. Okay, finally, it's the I'm done with this guy award. You got Jack Jones. The Patriots actually did say, we're done with you. Max an option there. Second round bust could be Tyquan Thornton. Bert, who you done with?
I think I'm going to go off the board here and go with J.C. Jackson because you went back for seconds. And why'd you do that? That was really stupid. Like, to me, it's like you had problems with a guy. That's the reason you didn't pay him. He had the exact same problems in Los Angeles. Now he's coming back here. And what, you think because the guy comes back a richer man that he's suddenly not going to have the issues that he had in Los Angeles? It made no sense. It was just, and I understand you had a need at the position, and I get that. You could find somebody different than this guy, and he came in and almost immediately infected the place.
I'm going to go with Tyquan Thornton here. I think the Patriots are pretty much done with him too. If you're not playing any snaps at all, with the shape that receiver room is in right now, no Devontae Parker. They're playing Mike Gesicki in the 2-minute drill. Like, they're going 12 personnel in the 2-minute. Like, I know Gesicki is more receiver than tight end, but there's not a team in the NFL that truly wants to do that on a regular basis. So Tyquan Thornton, it feels like they're done with him. I'm done with them too. It's another second-round bust.
Devontae Parker for me. The drop against the Raiders and then the
he wasn't in the graphic either, so you're going off the board also.
Yeah, but the accountability.
So many options to choose from.
Yeah, Bert, like coming up with the best player on the team was a little more challenging.
To me, like J.C. Jackson was, again, you were already done with him. Why is he back here?
Well, desperate.